welcome to all of the panel speakers. I will introduce each of them one by one. And I also would like to thank you to Pak Wagub Choache. Thank you for your time, Pak Wagub. Pak Gus Agung, Chairman of our Bali Tourism Board, welcome. And also I would like to welcome Pak Trisno, yang selalu setia, always there and always loyal, the Chairman of Bank Central of Indonesia Province in Bali. And also for all of my loyal friends from Lombok, from Makassar, from Surabaya, from Yogyakarta, even Bandung, up to Manado and Ambon. Thank you for your loyalty in following us in this webinar. We hope that all of the series from series 1 until series 8 today will give a benefit and knowledge in leveraging your skills in tourism industry. Nah, tanpa membuang waktu, I would like to give this time to Pak Gus Agung, Chairman of Bali Tourism Board, to welcome all of us. Time is yours, Pak Gus Agung.
Terima kasih. Selamat sore, yang terhormat Wakil Gubernur Bali, Bapak Profesor Choache, Kepala Perwakilan BI Provinsi Bali, Bapak Trisno Nugroho, Mr. Go Hodong, beliau adalah Konsul Jenderal Republik Rakyat Tiongkok untuk Bali, NTB, dan NTT, para narasumber, Bapak Ibu peserta webinar yang saya hormati. Om Swastiastu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Namo Buddhaya, salam. This time I will use Indonesia. So I pass my open speech to Pak David ya. So please translate on your WeChat Pak ya. Thank you. Selamat sore. Saya mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Bapak Wagub yang telah bersedia meluangkan waktu untuk hadir secara virtual dalam kegiatan webinar seri GP Bali BTB dengan tema Roadmap to Bali Next Normal. Session ini yang bertema Will Chinese Travel to Bali Again? Dalam kesempatan yang baik ini, kami telah mengundang beberapa narasumber yang berkompeten di bidangnya seperti Mr. Bohodong, beliau adalah Konsul Jenderal Republik Rakyat Tiongkok untuk Bali, NTB, dan NTT yang baru saja mengajukan pensiun ya, dan secara khusus akan membantu Bali melalui Bali Tourism Board. Dan nanti kalau Pak Levi nggak percaya, tanyakan aja beliau langsung. Dan Kedutaan Besar Indonesia di Tiongkok yang diwakili oleh Bapak Dino R. Kusnadi, Kemenparekraf yang diwakili oleh Bapak Sigit Caksono, Mr. Liang Chen, Vice Chairman Shenzhen Travel Association, ini mirip seperti Asita ya kalau di Bali, dan sebagai Direktur khusus untuk market Southeast Asia, jadi pas banget nih beliau nih sore ini. Dan yang terakhir itu adalah Rusu, Ibu Rus ini General Manager Bali Tourism Board di Tiongkok. Untuk teman-teman industri yang akan atau sudah menjajaki market Tiongkok, bisa menggunakan perwakilan kita di sana. Ini akan menjadi satu tim nanti depannya dengan Mr. Go juga. Terima kasih Bapak Wakil Gubernur, Bapak Trisno, dan seluruh peserta webinar. Kami sampaikan acara ini adalah webinar session 8 yang terakhir, Pak, yang diadakan oleh Bali Tourism Board, Bali Tourism Promotion Board, dan Bali Convention Exhibition Bureau. Jadi kita flashback, kita ketahui turis Cina ke Bali, Tiongkok ke Bali, turun 29% pada Mei 2019 ini. Kita ngomongin 2019 ya, dibandingkan Mei 2018. Hanya remind aja, penurunan ini diperkirakan karena berbagai faktor penyebab. Saat itu dampaknya waktu itu adalah praktek ilegal kita batasi ya sejak awal tahun 2019 yang merugikan Bali pada waktu itu. Dan yang kedua itu ada suatu kasus ya tentang, kalau kita ingat lagi, tentang pelecehan seksual oleh pemandu water sport di Tanjung Benoa. Pada saat itu kita dengan Pak Wagub, dengan Pak Konjen juga sangat sibuk memfasilitasi. Jadi begitu rentannya juga nih market Tiongkok, dengan hanya begitu bukan main ini diekspos besar-besaran oleh kompetitor kita pada waktu itu. Pengalaman itu yang kita rasakan saat pariwisata Bali lagi booming-boomingnya. Bapak Wakil Gubernur, Bapak Trisno, dan seluruh peserta webinar, pada saat rehearsal kemarin, malam dengan para narasumber, saya mendapatkan poin-poin yang sangat menarik mengenai market Tiongkok ini. Yang poinnya yang saya tangkap adalah dari Mr. Go menyatakan bahwa situasi belum bisa dipastikan sampai vaksin ketemu. Nanti kita akan dengar dari beliau secara langsung strategi dan taktik apa yang harus kita lakukan untuk menerima market Tiongkok ini. Sekali lagi, saat pandemi COVID-19 ini besarnya kita, pemerintah, industri, dan masyarakat semua belajar dan menyempurnakan lagi seluk-beluk mengenai pasar Tiongkok yang tujuannya untuk kesejahteraan masyarakat Bali. Mudah-mudahan dengan acara webinar ini kita mendapat titik terang dan solusi buat kebaikan kita bersama. Demikian sambutan singkat saya. Selanjutnya dengan hormat saya mohon Bapak Wakil Gubernur, Bapak Trisno Nugroho dan Mr. Go memberikan arahan pada kami terkait topik pada hari ini. Terima kasih. Om Santi 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 Om. Wassalam.
Terima kasih Pak Gus Agung, Chairman Bali Tourism Board. Saya mengucapkan selamat datang kepada semua audiens yang sudah bergabung di sore hari ini. Sudah sekitar 200-an partisipan in this webinar series. So there's around 200, more than 200 people is already here. Saya mengucapkan Om Swastiastu, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Shalom, salam sejahtera, nama budaya, salam kebajikan buat kita semua. Dan saya harap semua teman-teman pelaku industri yang ada di Bali maupun ada di daerah sekitarnya, semua semoga dalam keadaan yang sehat selalu. Dan selamat datang di webinar seri 8 Roadmap to Bali Next Normal, Will Chinese Travel to Bali Again? And ini akan menjadi webinar seri terakhir dari sekian seri yang sudah kita lakukan. Sebelum kita move to the next, sebelum kita mendengar kata sambutan dari Pak Wagub, Pak Coace, saya mempersilakan Pak Trisno Nugroho, Kepala Perwakilan Bank Indonesia di Bali untuk memberikan update-nya dan sekaligus kata sambutannya. Terima kasih Pak Trisno, the time is yours. Dia unmute dulu Pak Tris. Masih belum unmute Pak Tris, ya silakan.
Sudah ya. Terus yang kedua, mohon izin untuk dibuat host. Saya ada bahan tayangan dikit ya, Pak Levi kalau boleh.
Silakan.
Ya, Om Swastiastu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang dan salam sejahtera. Terima kasih Pak Levi, Pak Gus Agung, yang terhormat Pak Coace. Saya kira ini panel yang luar biasa hebat, panjang, kemudian topiknya sangat relevan dan bagus buat kita semua. Ini Pak Levi terima kasih yang sudah sangat pas memilih topik-topik untuk kepentingan Bali bangkit dan juga memberikan informasi yang balance kepada berbagai pasar ya. Pak Levi, kalau boleh nanti saya sedikit menyampaikan ini supaya menarik. Mohon izin Pak Gubernur, ini gambarnya Bali's Next Normal, Will Chinese Travel to Bali Again? Ini Pak Levi. Kemudian kedua, sedikit mengenai ada sedikit ekonomi global, nasional, dan juga bagaimana Tiongkok. Tadi mungkin Pak Gus Jagung juga sudah menyampaikan, nanti juga Mr. Go sama tadi satu lagi dari Chinese juga bisa menambahkan. Bali ini sekilas mungkin sudah pernah sekilas bahwa dunia memang sedang tertekan di dalam masalah pertumbuhan ekonomi ini ya. Nanti Cina juga sedikit ada harapan Pak Levi, ternyata Tiongkok Cina ini di triwulan kedua reboundnya luar biasa buat saya ya. Setelah mengalami kontraksi di triwulan pertama, nanti menaik di triwulan kedua. Jadi dunia sedang dalam tekanan. Cina pada waktu ini akan diperkirakan tumbuh 1%, tapi dengan melihat proyeksi kemarin mungkin akan berubah nanti. Jepang minus 6 kira-kira, Amerika 8, kemudian dunia ini 4,9 kontraksi. Terakhir kemarin OECD memproyeksi minus 6 Pak dunia. Jadi ini dinamis sekali, jadi kalau kita memproyeksi, pasti ini para lembaga-lembaga akan melakukan review setelah ada rilis-rilis berikutnya. Ekonomi Indonesia di triwulan kedua kontraksi tapi masih positif 2,97. Terakhir kemarin Pak Presiden mengatakan di triwulan kedua itu paling dalam sekitar minus 4%. Kemarin Pak Presiden menyampaikan di dalam arahan kepada Gubernur, dan juga Ibu Menteri juga sempat menyampaikan. Bagaimana dengan Bali? Bayangin Indonesia triwulan kedua yang paling ke dalam nanti minus 4%. Bali pada saat triwulan pertama 2,97, Bali sudah minus 1,14. Jadi perkiraannya tentunya di triwulan 2 Indonesia minus 4, Bali more than that lah kira-kira ya kalau boleh dikatakan seperti itu. Ini tracking ekonomi Bali triwulan 2, ini kita perhatikan Pak Wagub melaporkan juga Pak Wagub. Jadi untuk segi permintaan hampir semua bidang atau sektor, konsumsi tangga, pemerintah, investasi, net ekspor semua melambat. Demikian pula penawaran. Penawaran juga melambat, hanya satu yang pertanian yang mungkin kita bisa harapkan dapat menahan kontraksi ekonomi Bali di triwulan kedua ini. Berikutnya ini turut penanu ini ya karena kita juga ada kebijakan tadi, kebijakan dari pemerintah pusat maupun daerah untuk dalam rangka pengendalian ya wajar bahwa sejak Maret sampai dengan Juli ini masih sekitar tinggal 5% ya pesawat maupun kedatangan wisnus ataupun pejabat ataupun petugas-petugas kesehatan sekitar 5% pesawat dan juga orang. Berikutnya ini kemarin terakhir ada rilis dari yang menarik ini Pak Levi untuk Bapak Ibu sekalian termasuk juga Pak Wakil Gubernur dan Pak Tusagung bahwa pada survei yang kedua yang sudah disampaikan oleh BPS, emang ada peningkatan kemiskinan di Bali dari 3,61 di September tahun lalu meningkat menjadi 3,78%, meningkat ya, meningkat sebesar 0,17%. Tetapi saya setelah cek di seluruh provinsi dengan pasca pandemi ini di 3 bulan pertama atau 3 bulan di bulan pertama, ternyata 3,78 itu kemiskinan Bali sekarang yang paling rendah. Jadi naik tapi paling rendah. Dulunya DKI Jakarta nomor 1 yang terendah, kemudian Bali nomor 2. Sekarang Jakarta naik 4,5 atau berapa gitu ya. Tapi Bali terendah. Jadi kenapa Bali terendah? Nanti kami juga sampaikan kenapa kok Bali terendah. Memang di dalam tingkat kemiskinan Bali di Bali yang di borderline itu tidak terlalu banyak. Jadi Bali Asungkara alhamdulillah masih sampai bulan Maret 2020 kemiskinan naik tapi masih di bawah dari paling bawah di antara 34 provinsi lain. Yang lain tinggi-tinggi adalah DIY, Banten, Jabar, Jatim tinggi kenaikannya. Tapi Bali relatif rendah, bahkan sekarang terendah di Indonesia. Bagaimana proyeksi pertumbuhan ekonomi Bali? Saya sampaikan bahwa di triwulan 2, ini udah habis kan Juni kemarin, ini sudah bulan Juli tanggal 17 ini. Perkiraan kami ya sekitar Indonesia minus 4, Bali ya tentunya akan di bawah nasional. Muka-muka ini tidak lama ya, di dalam triwulan 2 sudah ada kebijakan dari Pak Wakil Gubernur dan Gubernur bahwa mulai dibuka tanggal 9 kemarin. Kemudian bagaimana pasar Tiongkok? Pasar Tiongkok menarik ini Pak Levi ya. Tadi semalam setelah diskusi dengan tim bahwa 5 tahun terakhir ya pasti sudah dipahami bahwa meningkat cukup tinggi ya, tinggi sekali di China ini ya. Dan juga peningkatan expenditure Pak expenditure-nya tinggi, spendernya juga lumayan tinggi kenaikannya. Jadi kalau kita lihat yang hijau ini market Chinese luar biasa meningkat untuk outbound-nya ya, untuk yang keluar dari Cina. Berikutnya ini untuk khusus untuk di Indonesia dan Bali secara khusus bahwa memang terakhir 5 tahun terakhir memang turis wisatawan Cina cukup signifikan. Kita lihat Bali memang di terakhir Pak Go itu di 2017 Mr. Go itu cukup tinggi ya kenaikannya 34,46%. Saya lupa kenapa. Kemudian 2018 turun menjadi 2,20, di 2019 turun negatif 3,14 ya di 2 tahun terakhir mengalami penurunan. Mungkin kita bisa balik lagi Pak Gus Agung dan Pak Wakil Gubernur bahwa 2017 itu adalah masa yang peningkatan cukup tinggi dari mulai 1,56 menjadi 2, hampir besar 50-an, bisa 34% gitu. Bali demikian sama, Bali juga sama, agak lebih baik sebenarnya di 2017-18 naik sekitar yang gede sih 1,6, 1,3, terus terakhir 2019 190.000 ya, sekitar 1,2 juta. Kalau pendapatannya memang di 2018 Tiongkok ini memberikan kontribusi 14,16% untuk Indonesia, untuk di Bali, Tiongkok nomor 2, 16,24%, Australia cukup besar, 23,04%. Ini data dari statistiknya mungkin sama teman-teman juga punya bahwa milioner di Chinese itu juga tinggi, sudah nomor 2 di dunia ya, dan cukup besar 1,5 juta manusia masyarakat Chinese yang sudah milioner. Ini merupakan pasar yang luar biasa, pastinya akan pergi ke luar negeri. Berikutnya sedikit, ini terakhir kemarin ini update Pak Go, mungkin saya datanya bahwa coba perhatikan ya, luar biasa. Jadi triwulan pertama itu kontraksi minus 6,8% ya Pak Go Chinese. Tapi di Juli ini triwulan kedua langsung di luar dugaan tumbuh 3,2% Pak Levi ya. Dulu orang mengira 1%. Jadi ini motor penggerak atau apa namanya powerhouse dunia sudah bangkit gitu ya, sudah bangkit. Jadi ekonomi dunia sudah mulai bangkit. Cina sebagai motor penggerak dunia sudah 3,2%. Artinya memberikan harapan bahwa dunia tidak, moga-moga tidak separah apa yang kita duga. Terutama Indonesia, banyak sekali global value chain yang menyangkut di daratan Cina ini. Ini kabar baik buat kita semua di Indonesia karena powerhouse untuk manufaktur dunia sudah mulai bangkit kembali. Moga-moga Pak Go tetap bangkit ya di triwulan 3 dan 4 sehingga kita bisa ikut gerbong dari pertumbuhan ekonomi dunia ini. Mengenai ini mungkin sudah ada dapat mungkin nanti sudah disebutkan dari Pata survei travel, yang menarik adalah 60% mereka pengen pergi sebenarnya itu Pak Levi. Jadi mereka pengen pergi 2020 sebenarnya, walaupun tinggal 6 bulan, 60% mereka ingin pergi. Dan yang memang yang pertama kita mesti perhatikan konsiderasi Pak Wakil Gubernur Pak Gus Agung bahwa mereka masih agak worry terkait dengan kesehatan dan keamanan mengenai traveling ini ya. Jadi sehingga mereka masih nunggu wait and see aja. Yang kedua, epidemik gimana nih worry terhadap pandemik ini. Jadi ini beberapa survei yang dapat dari Pata. Yang berikutnya bahwa apakah dia punya mau rencana pergi gitu misalnya. Travel plan with no, ya dia punya 40%, tetapi masih belum jelas waktunya kapan ini, masih nunggu-nunggu ini. Tentunya game changer-nya adalah tadi kemarin disebutin ya, game changer-nya adalah vaksin dan obat mestinya nih game changer daripada kalau itu ketemu alhamdulillah ya mungkin kita akan ini yang tadi yang no plan itu no certain time akan berubah. Preferen pada umumnya domestik ya di Chinese ya, dan preferen destinasi kalaupun nanti keluarga juga ada travel domestik, kemudian juga overseas masih sedikit ya. Most wanted adalah di negara-negara internal Chinese di sana. Nah ini untuk kalau keluar negeri kemana dia? Dia pengen vacation tour to tropical island, tentunya ke Indonesia salah satu. 58% mereka pengen ke tropical island, pastinya ke Hawaii, ke Indonesia atau ke pulau-pulau lainnya. Apa yang menjadi faktor dalam mengambil keputusan tadi? Dia bilang masih schedule dengan holidays, travel expenses. Yang kedua adalah, yang ketiga adalah epidemic situation in overseas countries. Jadi masih pertimbangan 51%. Ini kita harus sungguh-sungguh, dan tentunya Pak Gubernur dan Pak Wakil Gubernur sangat concern terhadap penyebaran virus di Bali ini dengan sangat baik mencari perkembangan terobosan agar menurun. Length of stay lumayan 68 hari dan prefer ways to overseas travel, dia lebih suka yang Chinese ini lebih ke grup Pak Go ya, tour grup itu masih ada. FIT 34% ya. Itu kira-kira Pak Levi, saya optimis terkait dengan Chinese ini pasarnya besar sekali dan tentunya kita bisa menangkap pasarnya. Demikian Pak Levi.
Terima kasih Pak Trisno. Terima kasih Pak Trisno, game changer. PRC masih menunjukkan keseriusan untuk traveling 60%. Kemudian kemampuan untuk traveling masih tinggi, buying power-nya, karena Chinese sebagai salah satu negara yang memiliki orang-orang bilioner yang ada di dunia, mereka cukup berpotensi, dan game changer-nya akan seperti apa. Kita akan mendapat picture lebih jelasnya lagi pada saat nanti kita akan mendengar dulu dari Pak Go juga, tapi Pak Go tahan dulu ya Pak Go, karena Pak Go nanti akan istilahnya akan menjadi salah satu key untuk memastikan game changer ini seperti apa, karena ini sangat penting sekali buat teman-teman praktisi industri yang ada di Bali maupun ada di daerah sekitar yang take benefit dari market Chinese ini sendiri. Nah, sebelum saya ke Pak Go nanti, saya ke Pak Wagub dulu, karena kebetulan Pak Wagub akan pamit, karena beliau ada meeting di tempat lain juga. Nah, Pak Wagub, saya langsung saja mempersilakan waktu dan tempatnya untuk memberikan kata sambutan sekaligus insight dari Wagub Provinsi Bali, Bapak Jo Aceh. The time is your, Pak Wagub. Thank you.
Terima kasih Pak Revi. Yang terhormat Bapak Dino, Wakil Duta Besar Republik Indonesia untuk Republik Rakyat Cina dan Mongolia. Yang saya hormati juga Konsul Jenderal Cina di Denpasar, yang sekarang sudah pensiun dan kembali ke Cina, Mr. Go Padong. Yang saya hormati tentu teman saya, saudara saya, Ketua GP Bali, Bapak Ibu Agung, kemudiannya juga saya hormati CEO dari saya sendiri, Pak Levi Rantu, yang selalu hadir memikat. Yang saya hormati juga Kepala Perwakilan Bank Indonesia Cabang Bali, Pak Trisno, yang setiap saat juga selalu hadir bersama-sama kita, para narasumber dari kalangan ekspor pariwisata, hadirin dan peserta webinar yang saya hormati pula. Om Swastiastu. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Selamat siang, selamat pagi. Mungkin ada negara yang selamat pagi sekarang, atau mungkin negara selamat malam. Good day to everybody. Mengawali sambutan ini, mari kita panjatkan puja dan puji syukur kehadapan Ibu Yang Widya Tuhan Yang Maha Esa atas karunia-Nya. Kita semua dapat diberikan kesempatan untuk bertemu secara daring dalam webinar Bali Next Normal Will Chinese Travels to Bali Again. Temanya menarik banget nih. Sebuah kehormatan bagi saya untuk dapat hadir kembali pada hari ini untuk menyampaikan beberapa hal yang terkait dengan perkembangan pariwisata Bali di era baru nantinya. Tema hari ini sangat menarik bagi saya karena Cina merupakan negara sahabat bagi Bali dan Indonesia. Selain itu, banyak wisatawan asal Cina yang berlibur ke Bali. Cina merupakan sebuah negara besar dengan jumlah populasi mencapai 1,4 miliar jiwa, dan 184 juta diantaranya tercatat melakukan perjalanan ke luar negeri tiap tahunnya untuk berbagai keperluan bisnis, wisata, dan lain sebagainya. Angka wisatawan Cina ini terus meningkat seiring berkembangnya ekonomi Cina yang semakin membaik tiap tahun, sekitar 6,1%. Di kawasan Asia Tenggara, negara Thailand menjadi negara yang paling banyak dikunjungi oleh wisatawan asal Cina. Pada tahun 2019, Thailand tercatat menerima 10,5 juta wisatawan asal Cina. Nah, bagaimana halnya dengan Bali? Sebagaimana saya sampaikan tadi, Bali dengan Cina mempunyai hubungan sejarah yang sangat panjang. Tidak terbatas pada hubungan pariwisata yang baru terjadi di beberapa dekade tahun terakhir, tapi sesungguhnya Bali dan Cina telah mencatat perjalanan yang cukup panjang. Yang saya ketahui aja dari satu buku perjalanan kubalekan di Bali, itu tercatat di abad ke-12. Itu sudah terjadi hubungan dagang yang sangat luar biasa antara Cina dan Bali, dan juga kita masih bisa lihat sekarang berapa situs-situs peninggalannya, baik peninggalan budaya dan lain sebagainya, masih banyak kita lihat di Bali. Walaupun kunjungan wisatawan Cina ke Bali tidak sebanyak ke Thailand, tapi dibandingkan dengan wisatawan asal negara lain, Cina hampir setiap tahun menduduki posisi teratas atau minimal kedua. Dan bila dibandingkan dengan destinasi lainnya di Indonesia, maka wisatawan Cina yang ke Bali mencapai jumlah 57,23% dari seluruh wisatawan Cina yang ke Indonesia. Hadirin sekalian, saat ini saya masih menemukan pandangan negatif masyarakat terhadap pariwisata di Bali. Pariwisata selalu dipandang menjadi penyebab terjadinya degradasi budaya dan terkikisnya lahan pertanian tradisional Bali, meningkatnya kriminalitas, dan lain sebagainya. Tapi saya yakin ini tidak mutlak. Karena memang mendatangkan tantangan bagi kita, namun juga mendatangkan kesempatan dan peluang yang lebih besar bila dikelola dengan baik. Sebut wisatawan atau turis asal Cina juga selalu dikaitkan dengan mass tourism atau wisata murah. Ini saya kira kita perlu luruskan ini. Padahal pasar Cina jika dikelola dengan baik, sesungguhnya bisa dikembangkan dengan baik pula. Saya ingat di tahun 80-an, mulai tahun 70-an, ketika kita pertama menerima wisatawan asal Jepang. Kondisinya persis seperti apa yang kita alami pada awal menerima wisatawan dari Cina. Mereka jalan bareng-bareng, berkelompok, bergrup, kemana pemimpinnya, dan selalu bawa kamera. Dan mereka biasanya hanya tahu Bali itu adalah Bali Beach. Hanya menginap di Bali Beach. Kemudian di tahun 84, nah waktu itu saya kebetulan dengan Pak Prof. Mantro, Gubernur Bali, mengadakan pameran sekaligus workshop performance di Tokyo tahun 84. Sejak itu baru persepsi Bali itu berubah dan pandangan masyarakat wisatawan Jepang. Baru mereka tahu bahwa wisata di Bali itu tidak hanya Bali Beach, tidak hanya pasir putih di Sanur. Nah, ini menjadi awal bagaimana kemudian wisatawan Jepang itu bisa lebih selektif, yang suka budaya dia tinggal di Ubud, yang suka pantai dia tinggal di Sanur, dan lain sebagainya. Ini pengalaman saya dulu, saya kira ini juga awal cerita kita untuk wisatawan Cina. Apalagi dengan jumlah wisatawan asal Cina sekitar 184 juta orang setiap tahun. Bali seharusnya bisa lebih selektif pada segmen pasar Cina dalam mengembangkan arah pariwisata Bali. Wisatawan Cina yang seperti apa yang kita harapkan untuk datang ke Bali? Pertanyaan ini tidak terlepas dari demand dan supply. Kita selalu menuntut demand yang berkualitas. Kita mengharapkan demand yang selalu berkualitas tanpa supply yang juga berkualitas. Ini kita harus juga menjadi autokritik kita sendiri. Ketika kita mengatakan wisatawan Cina murah dan lain sebagainya, pertanyaan kita apakah tidak gara-gara kita yang menyiapkan segala sesuatu yang murah, sehingga praktis juga yang datang murah. Ini saya terilustrasi dengan kegiatan yang saya kira di tempat lain juga banyak, bagaimana orang Bali mencari madu dari sarang lebah. Nah, ketika kita membuat tempat untuk menangkap lebah, yang kita harapkan adalah lebah yang masuk dengan madunya, tapi kalau salah kita membuat, maka yang masuk malahan tawon yang masuk atau burung. Intinya adalah apa yang kita harapkan, itulah yang harus kita siapkan. Jangan kita mengharapkan yang berkualitas, tapi kita sendiri tidak siap untuk menyiapkan segala sesuatu yang berkualitas. Untuk itu saya berharap seluruh stakeholder dan pariwisata khususnya untuk menatap kembali arah perkembangan wisata Bali. Saya rasa kita bisa mengambil hikmah dari pandemi COVID-19 ini. Kita seakan diberi waktu untuk memikirkan kembali dengan jernih apa saja yang harus dilakukan untuk menata pariwisata Bali ke depan. Ini tentu sulit kita lakukan pada masa pra-COVID-19. Optimisme yang tinggi, kadang-kadang mohon maaf, percaya diri kita terlalu tinggi, sehingga kita menganggap bahwa apa yang kita sudah siapkan sudah lengkap, sudah baik segala-galanya. COVID-19 mengajar kita untuk kembali, menata kembali pariwisata Bali, apakah sudah on track, ataukah menyimpang daripada cita-cita luhur kita bersama. Hadirin saya hormati, demikian sampai yang dapat saya sampaikan. Saya ucapkan selamat mengikuti webinar. Semoga hasil diskusi pada hari ini memberikan inspirasi dan manfaat bagi kita semua untuk mengembangkan pariwisata Bali untuk lebih baik lagi. Saya berharap pasca pandemi ini tidak menyurutkan niat wisatawan Cina untuk kembali lagi ke Bali sebagai saudara tua kita. Terima kasih. Om Santi Sati Sende Om. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih Pak Co Aceh, Wagub Provinsi Bali yang selalu setia menemani kami di webinar seri 1 sampai seri 8. Kalau saya bukan mengikat Pak, saya cuma berusaha untuk menarik perhatian dan tidak boring Pak. Tapi yang sangat mengikat soalnya Pak Trisno, Pak Wagub. Karena sesudah ini semuanya berpulang kepada angka Pak Wagub. Jadi Pak Trisno yang akan mengikat semua yang ada di sini. baik industrinya maupun teman-teman yang ada yang akan melakukan riset yang tadi kata Pak Wagub, meriset bisnis model, especially untuk market China ini. Terima kasih banyak Pak Wagub, dukungan moral, kehadiran Bapak yang selalu setia dari kami mulai webinar seri 1 sampai hari ini. Tentunya ini memberikan semangat kepada teman-teman praktisi pariwisata Bali yang setia mengikuti webinar ini dan mereka siap untuk bangkit Pak dari masa keterpurukan yang sudah hampir 4 bulan ini, siap untuk menerima market China dan kita bisa berkolaborasi dan lebih kuat lagi ke depan. Terima kasih sekali lagi Pak Wagub, Pak Jo Aceh. Stay healthy Pak, kita tetap ketemu dan lebih semangat lagi untuk ke depannya. Terima kasih Pak Jo Aceh. Right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time, and then we're going to hear more deep. Apa tadi yang sudah disampaikan oleh Pak Wagub bahwa Bali itu ternyata punya sejarah dari abad 13 ya tadi Pak Wagub. Dari abad 13 itu ternyata sudah ada hubungan diplomasi antara China dengan Bali khususnya. Kita belum ngomong Indonesia nih. Kalau di Indonesia ceritanya nggak bakal selesai. Tapi kita ngomong Bali aja ya di sore hari ini. So it's about the China and Bali. We're gonna hear more from Pak Go, or former China Consul General in Denpasar. Buat teman-teman yang baru bergabung, selamat datang di webinar seri 8. Sebelum saya memperkenalkan panel, saya ingin memberikan sedikit pengumuman bahwa teman-teman di grup chat yang ada di grup, teman-teman silakan baca dan teman-teman bisa meregistrasi untuk mengikuti FGD, Focus Group Discussion ke depan, karena webinar seri 8 ini adalah webinar seri terakhir dalam grup yang lebih besar, tapi kami akan move ke grup yang lebih kecil dalam bentuk FGD, dan teman-teman yang tertarik untuk mengikuti FGD ini, silakan registrasi nama, perusahaan, alamat email, dan handphone mobile-nya. Kemudian teman-teman bisa milih 1 sampai 3 topik yang akan teman-teman ikut. Topiknya itu adalah seputar tentang persiapan Bali menuju next normal. Ini bicara tentang protokol, kemudian protokol CISE, maupun juga nanti ada bagaimana persiapan Bali, kemudian mengenai MICE business, kemudian mengenai persiapan Bali bisnis Bali dibuka, di mana kami dari Bali Tourism Board sedang mengupayakan untuk persiapan modal usaha dengan Kementerian Parekraf, kemudian juga mengenai market trend, which is hari ini kita bicara tentang China, tapi ada market trend di mana sosialisasi maupun implementasi daripada charter flight yang sudah diusulkan di webinar-webinar sebelumnya, charter flight dari China, nanti kita akan bicara nanti tentang charter flight, kemudian juga charter flight dari Paris, dari Berlin menuju Bali, dan juga ada ide untuk dari Amerika, which is dari LA, San Francisco ke Denpasar, dan juga destinasi-destinasi lainnya yang siap untuk dibuka, khusus untuk internasional. Kemudian strategi juga untuk domestic market, kita melihat kepada kawasan per kawasan, apakah kawasan Nusa Dua, kawasan Sanur, Kuta, Seminyak, dan sebagainya. Dan kemudian kita juga akan membahas bagaimana persiapan untuk Bali menerima domestic market itu sendiri, kerjasama dengan bank BCA, Bank Mandiri, BRI, dan BNI, kolaborasi bersama dengan hotel-hotel yang akan kami kerjasama melalui Bali Tourism Board Association. Dan juga khususnya kepada program Working from Bali, Reimagine Bali, program yang sedang lagi disiapkan, ini juga nanti akan diluncurkan. Dan kalau jika teman-teman tertarik untuk mengikuti grup-grup discussion tadi, silakan teman-teman daftar di btbgpbali@gmail.com supaya teman-teman nanti akan mendapat invitation untuk kita undang ikut di dalam FGD Group seri-seri selanjutnya. Terima kasih. Saya memperkenalkan panel speaker kita sore hari ini adalah Pak Dino R. Kusnadi, Deputy Chief Mission of KBRI dari Beijing. Pak Dino, apa kabar Pak Dino?
Hello, Levi. Thank you. I'm good. Thank you very much.
Nggak bosan-bosan ya sama Bali ya, Pak Dino?
No, it's good actually. If you see, if you follow the developments of the webinar from 1 to 8, you see the developments and where the discussion is. And I guess on this 8 part, we can at least have a very concrete and overall view on where we're heading.
Thank you so much Pak Dino. Ini enaknya nih Pak, saya enak banget. Saya paling gampang nih Pak, saya ngomong pakai bahasa Indonesia, Bapak jawab pakai bahasa Inggris. Make my life easier. Thank you Pak Dino, welcome.
Okay.
Thank you. And now I have Mr. Pak Go Haodong, the former China Consul General, used to be in Bali. Now he moved back to Beijing. Pak Go, apa kabar Pak Go? Nanti I will cross check with you, Pak Go, that you already retired, so you have more time now.
Okay, I'm ready.
You ready? So you enjoy your time now? Yeah, I can hear you. So you enjoy your life now in Beijing?
I have to prepare myself. Yeah, because I've stayed overseas too long. Yeah,
wow.
I have to adapt myself. Yeah, anything, everything is good. Yeah.
All right. So you get used to Bali style, yeah?
I begin to miss Bali already.
All right. No, that's all right. It won't be long because you're gonna become, as Gus Agung said, that you retired from your diplomatic job, but you're gonna start a new job as a Bali ambassador, and a specialized as a Bali.
I'm very pleased. Yeah.
All right. Okay, good. We'll keep that. We'll keep your word. Right. Thank you so much, Pak Go, for today. Former Chinese Consul General for Denpasar. And we also have Pak Sigit Wicaksono, Director Regional 2 untuk China, India, and North Asia, dan juga Acting Director Regional 3 untuk Europe. Pak Sigit, terima kasih atas waktunya. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Pak Levi, for the invitation. Om Swastiastu, Pak Wagub, Pak Dino, Pak DCM, apa kabar?
Thank you so much, Pak Sigit. I know you are very busy too, and you have plenty of webinar running in the same time, but thank you for spending time with us today. And I would like to welcome also Ms. Rose Wu, General Manager of Bali Tourism Board based in Beijing. Ms. Rose, thank you for your time, and it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rose will share more about the trend, what's happened in China, and what we can do to prepare for the China market. Thank you so much. And also, I have James Liang Jun. He's the Vice Chairman of Shenzhen Travel Association, and he's also a Director of Shenzhen Travel Association Southeast Asia Specialized Committee. Thank you so much, James, for spending time with us today. Right, and I also have few team from KJRI Shanghai and also KJRI Guangzhou. Welcome, and I also have our industry senior here, Pak Marco Umbas. Welcome, Pak Marco, and I have I think team Pak Gusti from Garuda, VP Garuda Charter Flight. Well, thank you so much, all of our panel speaker. Really appreciate all of your time here. Now, I would like to give this time to Pak Go as a first speaker panel. Pak Go, would you like to update us, after you miss Bali and now you have to adjust yourself back to Beijing again, back to them. Well, I don't know, you said you're too long, stay overseas. Now, you're more like Balinese style now, but you have to adjust yourself.
I am Balinese. Yeah.
You're
okay,
Balinese.
Thank you.
Okay, then you're Balinese. I consider you a Balinese now. So, Mr. Gal, we would like to hear about now you're back, and then you see how we can connect and we can make sure that Bali ready for Chinese market, and then Chinese can, rest assured that Balinese know what they are doing.
Yeah.
Time is yours, Mr. Gal.
Thank you. Om Swastiastu.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Master of Ceremony, Pak Landu. Very nice to see you again, Pak Wakil, Pak Jokache, Pak Gus Agung, and the other friends. You know, the modern technology actually keeps us together, although we might be 1,000 miles away. I'm very much pleased and happy, honored to be part of this today's webinar. Yes, the pandemic really is changing the world remarkably. Some say good, negative. Some say I'm not sure whether there will be some positive changes. But when we're looking at the Bali, the tourism in Bali, you know, before my departure from Bali, I actually made it. I drove myself to some part of Bali. For example, Sanur. I saw the streets almost empty. The bars, restaurants, you know, are closed. This pandemic really hit Bali tourism very bad. It's like a kind of bushfire, you know, scorching the trees, killing the trees, the grasses. But we must believe that after the bushfire, you see, the greener, the younger, the seedlings, the trees grew again, even greener, growing in a better shape. So this is what I have a prospect of Bali's tourism. And since I came back, I spent 14 days quarantine in Shanghai. Every day I talk to my friends because, you know, I was so lonely, you know, for the quarantine inside the hotel room. I talk to people and to friends, you know. There is a kind of very strong desire since, you know, almost a nationwide lockdown of Chinese cities like Wuhan. You know, talking about Wuhan, I like to especially thank to Governor, Wakil Governor, you know. You saw of the last group of Chinese tourists from Wuhan at the airport. You know, this story is talking about among the Chinese. So many Chinese know about this story. And because of this story, so many people know about Bali. Yeah. So there is a very strong desire for traveling. Recently, the Chinese government has opened the domestic travel. So you can see during the weekend or some traditional Chinese vacation, you see big number of Chinese moving around domestically. But of course, you know, due to the situation, corona situation in the world, the international travel or outbound travel has not been opened yet. But you can see the very, very strong desire. So many people, you know, even just now, I was reading an article, you know, talking about, I can't wait to make a trip abroad. And so this changes. Another change I've noticed that the mode or the way for the Chinese traveling abroad will be different. So this is something we need to prepare ourselves for that. And from the point of government, there will be some restrictions, more restrictions on big travel groups abroad. Will be very, very strict. So that indicates the big groups like before, you know, traveling to Bali, to Vietnam, to Cambodia, Malaysia, might not be seen like that. You know, because some measures or restrictions are actually discouraging. You know, a lot of, you know, this kind of tests, that kind of, you know, regulations. So people think, oh, it's too complicated. But that means people will choose to travel in smaller groups, like, family, one family, or among relatives, or among group, the good, very close friends. They have same interests. They know each other very well. They travel in smaller groups. This means that more experienced or veteran travelers will continue to travel abroad or grow. The number will grow. So I mean, small groups, but larger in numbers. So this will say Bali will can have a kind of advantage than any other tourist destinations. For example, Bali has much more very good star hotels, higher rating stars, like 5-star hotels, better facilities, which is very good for this kind of small groups. And also, they not come as just say do some sightseeing as before. So secondly, they choose to spend their vacation. They choose to stay in the beachside hotels, resorts, among the family members, among close friends. And of course, they do some sightseeing to some very interesting places like Ubud or some other places, but they are mainly vacationers. And so Bali needs to take this advantage to focus on the promotion of to focus on this kind of people, to attract them to come here. And also, to be frank, actually this is the so-called high-end or quality tourists. I fully agree with Wakil Governor that the strategy of Bali of tourism should be prioritized on quality rather than quantity. We should do our best to discourage the so-called low-cost group, even so-called $0 groups. That does not benefit truly. Our aim is to a higher quality, maybe even a lower number, a low number of inbound, but higher tourist income, higher quality. The tourists benefit more from this. So this is strategy we're going to do. When talking about Bali's, when we do the promotion of Bali's tourism to the Chinese market, there are several kind of very obvious advantage, or even kind of slogans we can say. There's no jet lag, no time difference, right? So in winter we can say, I'm making an appointment with summer. So in December, people in the North China, they are in the freezing weather, but they are making appointments with summer in the afternoon. So I get up in the morning, I get aboard the flight. For 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I arrived in Bali. 7 o'clock, I'm on the beach. So this is something we must promote. And even July and August, Bali has the best weather, most very cool and even a little bit very comfortable weather. But in Beijing and China, most of China, the temperature is 32, 35, 38. I'm sweating. Yeah, July, August happen to be the holiday of students, the primary students, the secondary, high school, university students. That's a good season for the family tour. So let's think of, I just give some, put some idea, say how we can sell or promote Bali better to the Chinese, to meet the demand of the high-end or quality tourists, rather than as what did before, seeking just only the number. Yeah. So of course, even though the number will remain very big, but I say a Chinese consul general served in Bali. I have an in-depth observation of Bali's quality, the characteristics. I strongly recommend that let's not repeat what happened in Thailand, what happened in Malaysia, what happened in Vietnam, this so much disorder of the tourist market. So Bali should be the best. Bali is the best. So let's work together on that. I will be very happy to join BTB and to join your friends, to be part of the think tank, to make my contributions to the promotion of Bali. Okay, that's all I want to share, and I will improve it. I will, of course, talk a lot with Bagus Agung and David and Barbecue. Yeah. So,
Mr. Go, we'll come
so,
back. Hold on. I mean, I'm going to ask a few questions, and I think
yes.
some of your fans from Bali still want to ask you a few questions. They still need your advice. But
yes,
I'll pick up the main point. Yeah, I'll pick up your main point that the focus on high-end market and focus on quality. And we should create a slogan and targeting the promotion, especially for July until August will be a good timing for in market, especially in school holidays coming up. And then and it's a good timing for Bali, and your focus is Bali. Let's make something new and don't make Bali same like other destination, for instance.
Yes.
Malaysia.
Yeah, that's what I worry.
Yeah. We have to make something new. So that means for all of the Bali tourism industry, hotel owners, sales manager, sales director that focus on PRC market, I think this is a good timing for all of us to start thinking, reset your business model for China market. I'll come back to you again, Mr. Go, but I would like now to go to Ms. Rose. Rose Wu, General Manager of Bali Tourism Board, China, based in Beijing. Rose, you already heard about what Pak Go shared and how patient he, about Bali and about the quality, about the readiness, about the facility that Bali have, most of international hotel chains compared to other destinations, and the service level is there. Balinese genuinity in terms of the service is there, and the product is, uncomparable to other destinations. What would you suggest? What would you give us or educate us, Ms. Ross? I give this time for you to update directly from Beijing. Ross.
Thank you. Thank you, distinguished Vice Governor, Chairman of Bali Tourism Board, my dear friends here and there, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. And it's my great pleasure to meet my brothers and sisters in Bali in such a special way.
You have a lot of fans too, Ms.
It just like us. It has been thousands of years to see you again here in such a special way. So because it's just like to be thousands of years, so I have a lot of things I want to share with you guys in Bali, my brothers and sisters. So what I want to share this afternoon maybe will into two parts. So I hope I will not make it boring. And if you have any question, you can raise and ask me. Okay, maybe the first part I will share with you now. I will share the PPT.
Yeah, you can share straight. Yeah, there you go. That's good.
Okay. You see the
Brilliant.
First of all, please allow me to introduce myself. I'm Rose, General Manager of China Representative Office of Bali Tourism Board. Our mission of BTB China is to establish re-establish the new image of Bali in China's tourism market that is high quality, really interesting, most romantic, and extremely exploring, and help the BTB members and Bali tourism merchants better enter the Chinese markets, better promote the brand's selling products, and also improve the service satisfaction. We have already set up our own official accounts on major mainstream media platforms in China to maximize the brand value through online multi-channels communication with high quality and unique content. At the same time, we also, and the domestic well-known OTA and OTP, also establish the strategic partnership as well as the various tourism media and the KOL and the influence people. Here is our official accounts in China. And also the partners here. 2020 is sure an unstable year. At the beginning of this year, the COVID-19 epidemic swept across the whole world, and the world tourism industry suffered heavy losses. Where will the epidemic situation go, and where will the tourism industry go, and where will Chinese tourists go to Bali again? Today, I would like to share the themes with you here. We always talking about new normal, but is the new normal of Bali the same as that in China? Focusing on China's daily life, let's take a look at what China's new normal look like. First, life is most important thing. Masks are not separated with everyone here. And also keep a safe distance at all times. Countless service delivery, nucleic acid detection and quarantine measures are actively accepted. Also, a health code is a passport to everyone. And transparent big data notification for the whole society. And also the same in Bali, working, home office, home shopping, and home learning have become the norm. The popularization of observation system and registration system are well accepted. And the last is the most interesting. Live streaming and short video take up more space in our daily life. Okay, therefore, we can compare whether China's new normal is the same as Bali's new normal, which are the same and which are different. And how about tourism? Last week, the online travel platform released the second half of the Travel Intention Survey report, which showed that the Chinese people's willingness to travel increased significantly in the second half of the year, with more than 80% of the respondents willing to travel. During the same time, the survey data released by China Tourism Research Institute also showed that the same thing. However, due to the repeated epidemic situation in foreign country and border control and other factors, including domestic exit and entry policies and public opinion's official attitude toward outbound tourism, people are very cautious about outbound tourism. Most people's outbound travel plans have been put forward for half a year or more. The professions from tourism industry here predict that outbound tourism will not be held until the first quarter or middle of the next year. The regional forecast of recovery is like this: Macau, and then Hong Kong, Korea, Thailand, Japan, and then other Asian Pacific regions. and then Europe and America. Since we have entered the new track of new normal, we are bound to put forward new requirements for the outbound tourism market under such behaviors. So what are they? Safety first, health first, of course. Residents, travel, and hotel booking have shifting from the original focus on the surrounding scenic sports and activities, as well as hotel price, and then to pay more attention to whether the destination's epidemic prevention and control measures are in line with China's level consistency, hotel health and safety issues, prevention and control measures and facilities. And the second requirement from say and go to reservation, flow control, and anti-gathering. The reservation system can let tourists know the flow of people and the destination or scenic spot in advance. So see the number of appointments in real time, adjust the itinerary in time. So people can avoid and count. And also, nucleic acid test report and a quarantine policy will become one of the necessary conditions for outbound travel within a certain period of time. The next one is the standardization of prevention and control measures and facilities. Okay, the next one, improvement of health standards for tourism service personnel. Around us, daily life, the regular nucleic acid and detection are needed, and also strengthen the training of epidemic prevention and control. The next one, the threshold of living country is higher, so the holiday demand is deeper and more concentrated. The threshold of going abroad is bound to be higher, which involves visa policy, flight capacity, the risk of infection on the road, the process of quarantine management. Once people decide to travel, I mean the outbound, they will be much more conscious than before, and they will be more willing to stay in a place for longer. The next one is customization, small group, and high quality, just like Mr. Go just shared with us. According to the data of Ma Fengwo during the Dragon Boat Festival holiday in May this year, the number of orders for local tour increased by 885% compared with that of Qingming holiday. The order volume of customer tour increased by 4,300%. compared with that of Qingming holiday. And orders of scenic sport tickets and hotels increased by 463% and 240% respectively. Tourists have a higher demand for new and indie products, not just arrive and take picture and just a little bit of experience. And recently, customized tourism has gradually become the mainstream, and the epidemic situation has also promoted the maturity of customers' tourism markets. And the next one comes from catering and accommodation requirements. Under the influence of the epidemic, people's travel habits have also changed. Ma Fengwo recently released the new tourism in the post-epidemic era. The report on the change of tourism consumption of Generation Z, which deeply interprets the change of travel preferences of young travelers before and after epidemic. The enthusiasm of young tourists for tourism is unprecedented, and overall travel budget is increasing and instead of falling. It's good. And 16.77% of the respondents said that in post-epidemic era, they will not reduce travel consumption, but will increase tourism consumption level. the increased travel budget will be mainly used for catering and accommodation. 17.37% of young people will increase travel consumption in catering, and 62.96% of tourists are willing to improve the level of accommodation. New market requirements often give birth to new opportunities, which may be opportunities for Bali tourism operators under the new normal Chinese markets. So what are they? The first one, I think, is the core of tourism products is refined and transferred from material to spirit. The tourism industry of Bali is based on Trihita Karana philosophy, which is the base for the development of Bali Island and the core of harmonious coexistence of the whole nature and society. This philosophy is more experienced by the world after recovery. And this spiritual value will be reflected in the travel products around the world, including China in the future, I believe. The sustainable development of tourism will be the future trend. This concept will be accepted by more and more Chinese consumers. Consumers will consider this point when they selecting the destination and tourism products. People will shift their attention from the original temple tour to the destination experience or exploration. They can update more spiritual energy, especially for the high-end people. And the second opportunity comes from the high-end market potential. China's high-end tourists spend an average of 380,000 yuan a year on their travel. Among them, 42% of the families spend 100,000 to 300,000 yuan on tourism products. And large number of families, that is 36%, spent 310,000 to 500,000 yuan on tourism products. In terms of the number of super high-end users, about 8% of that will spend more than 1 million yuan on tourism. Overall, China's high-end tourism continues to be enthusiastic about tourism. And the next one, I think it's the important thing we should consider. The Chinese standards are likely to be the world standards. This time, China has achieved all business results in the fight against the COVID-19 epidemic, which is also known as one of the safest places in the world. And many countries and regions have begun to follow China's missions and standards in the fight against the epidemic. Whether the destination tourism industry has the ability to establish a set of certification system of epidemic prevention, safety, and medical treatment recognized by Chinese consumers from reservation to arrival to stay and leave, I think it will greatly affect the travel decision of Chinese consumers. And the next one will be from increase in travel budget. According to the data of research report on China's tourism industry market operation situation and development trend from 2020 to 2026, released by a famous consulting here, the travel plans of many people are affected due to the epidemic situation. Therefore, after outbreak, the number of planned tourists and travel budget will increase accordingly.
Right, yep.
And the next one will be the demand. More and more people are thinking about traveling alone or ending one or two families or just family only. So innovative products are expected to have more space. The proportion of customer size travel increased significantly. We can see from the picture I share with you. And also here, you can see the last one, I think it's the interesting one. Live streaming and short video are still in the bonus period. And I want to share with you a true story. During the epidemic period, cloud traveling create a new live streaming scene. For the first time, the National Museum of China has carefully designed a special live tour routine. Users can enjoy the national treasures of 5,000 years of China civilization in 1 hour. And also the 1388-year-old Putala Palace opened Taobao live streaming for the first time, opening up the previously forbidden areas for the offline tours. It attracts 920,000 people to the studio within 1 hour, while Potala Palace received about 1.5 million tourists per year.
Wow.
Yeah, interesting.
This is a good number. This is a good
Yeah.
number.
It's a good number and unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay. Rose, you hold the second, Rose. Well, you can continue for the second because there are a few questions already ready for you. Okay. I'm gonna ask a question. Because some of your fans already asked you a question, a very serious question, but I think it's a good question, and I'm sure you should be able to answer that. I think what you just share is I need to confirm what you just share with Pak Doni. Pak Doni, I think you can continue to share again your presentation at the second one, Rose. If I may get your comment on what Rose just shared, Pak Doni, and this is going to become sort of like a confirmation or reassurance that this market, the Chinese market, still going to play a very big role for Bali, and especially as Rose just highlighted there, it's very clear they are smaller, quality, and they're going to stay longer. What would you like to say, Pak Doni?
Okay. First of all, thank you, Pak Levi, and let me just commend Rose for the fantastic presentation. I guess it clearly shows about the current Chinese market right now. But first of all, let me say saya menyampaikan salam hormat dulu kepada Pak Wagub, Pak Cokorda Sukawati, Pak Chairman Ida Bagus Agung, Pak Kepala BI Bali Office, Pak Trisno Nugroho, fellow speakers, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just, rather than repeat what Mr. Gao and Rose has mentioned, let me just enhance again on how the condition here in China is like. We see now that that the epidemic in China is practically done. We've already encountered a second outbreak. It's not yet considered as a second wave. It's just a second outbreak in Beijing. The numbers have drastically been reduced to zero growth anymore in Beijing for the past 6 days or 7 days. So it's now we're going back into the routine of building up the economy. Yes, what Rose says that the public here is very health conscious. They now know how to keep a healthy and very safe environment, on how to keep away from each other, but also not interfere into the daily activities. The focus right now is how to revive the economy. So after being contained, quarantined in small areas, they're now working, but on a limited basis of going out, but now developing the economy. What we're seeing is that once they're out, they're working. Later at the end of the year, it comes to a time where they need to relax. They need to get out of their routine, and this is where I guess where Bali comes in. The discussions already in the Chinese social media shows the fact that it's already in the minds, in the back minds of a lot of people that they would want to visit. But now they're still looking, or they're still waiting, and they're looking for that opportunity for on how they can easily connect to the places that they want to go. So my first point is that we're in a competition. It's not just Bali. Rose says that we're number 6 in the minds of destination, but hey, number 6, we'll take it, because the numbers of Chinese tourists that goes abroad and the numbers that just actually arrive, there's still a lot of potential to grow. So if we can keep this momentum, if we can keep the connections on how to realize from the back mines into actually booking and then traveling and then having a very safe and secure area, and then going back again safe. That's where I guess the job of, I guess it's not just the embassy, but also the consulates in Shanghai and Guangzhou, but also with the promotion of everyone involved into making the packages, right sizing them. My ambassador in previous discussions with Levi mentions about working from Bali. The hashtags are work from Bali. That's also another idea that we can explore. So it's not just about tourists and bringing on the families, small groups coming in, but if we can create an environment for them to get outside of their containment and go to Bali in a safe environment, and then where they can also work online, that would also help a lot. It makes them out of the normal routine. It can also use some of their creativity. That's also another idea that you can go through. I've already seen several promotional kits that are made from Bali about good internet connections, about having the accessibility of people moving. But then the next question would be when will that be? From the Chinese perspectives, they are also now taking care of people that are coming from abroad, coming into China, and that these are where all the new infections are coming in. So what we have to do is we have to build the trust as when they do go to Indonesia, they will not be bringing in back these viruses. That's one of the tasks that we have to do to build up that trust. We're looking is when can we put in the time schedules? Will it be third quarter or will it be the fourth quarter? That still remains big questions for us. Perhaps my colleague later on, Pak Sigit, can also give us some new developments on the transportation connections, and also with on how we can establish some travel corridors for tourism. We have seen that there's still some discussions making it for economic travel corridors. We're still also discussing this on future travel and tourism. Hopefully that we can get it done sooner rather than later.
All right.
Finally, perhaps just to close up, the notes that we have to close this is that never stop promoting. The hype that Rose built at the social media, especially social media, is just fascinating. Those numbers are still growing, but we need to channel them. Hopefully that these enthusiasms can be realized into numbers that actually do visit Bali. So let me close with that, Levi, and continue on with other discussions. Thank you.
Pak Dino, thank you, Deputy Chief Mission of KBRI in Beijing. Pak Dino tadi pede banget bilang tadi, Rose tadi bilang Indonesia ada di nomor urut 6 in the mind of Chinese traveler. Dan Pak Dino dengan pede banget mengatakan kita bisa jadi nomor 1. Apa bukan karena pressure dari ini aja, dari dubesnya kali Pak Dino? Jangan pede gitu.
No, actually it's been in my back mind about what fascinates Chinese travelers to Indonesia, and I have to commend also Roses about the concept of spirituality that Bali offers. That fits in quite well with the Chinese travelers and spirits of well-being, of tranquility, of peacefulness. That's what people want right now. I mean, the stress of working, the stress of pressure. It's a bit cloudy outside here in Beijing, and I'm still, if I just think about the sunshine in Bali, that will drive up my chi and my energy level. So if that sells, I mean, people will go.
All right. So there's a very sound, very confident and very highly optimistic that Bali is going to become #1 in Chinese travel mind. I'm going to reading this statement for all of us to know the reality and to know what the industry from Bali say. It is from Anak Agung Gede Oka to all panelists. We need higher quality of Chinese tourists in Bali. And I don't agree if tour agents sell very cheap tour packages to Chinese tourists. Bali is too small. We need not just the quantity and quality too. This is exactly what Mr. Go already mentioned. They cause bad traffic to the small islands. Make sure the local agents in Bali only use full license fans, buses, and certified tour guides. A lot of local agents for Chinese tourists use private fans illegal. And I think there's going to be to cover the expenses. Tour guides from Chinese customer need to learn more about Bali custom and tradition. I think this is also a good, terima kasih, thank you for tadi Anak Agung um, yang tadi memberikan statement, memberikan comment. It's also good that Rose also already brought up BTB China brought up that Trihita Karana. We not only just sell Bali for the sake of sell Bali anymore. We're looking at small quality and stay longer and consider Bali a sustainable tourism destination. And we're looking at local wisdom to empower not only Balinese, our local people, but also a tour operator. And I think this is going to be also a good input for Rose as a GM for Bali Tourism Board to take this consider for tourists. And I also would like to Nyoman Astama to Pak Go. Nyoman Astama say, Mr. Go, we miss you. A bit like exaggerating it, but it's what you say is very encouraging news to know that Bali is perceived as a decent quality tourist destination by Chinese market. Thank you for recommending Bali authority to promote Bali in China as a better quality destination. When do you see the Chinese will be allowed to travel to Bali? What airlines? We're gonna answer that. Beli Nyoman Astama, ya, sabar ya. Okay, and I think now, Pak Doni, thank you for your super enthusiasm and confidence. We're gonna become #1. I, finger crossed, hopefully. And I think it can, and hopefully it can. Right, I need the rest assurance as well from Pak Sigit Wicaksono, Deputi Regional 2 dari Kementerian Pariwisata dan Ekonomi Kreatif, from Tourism Minister and Economic Creative. Pak Sigit, you heard about how confident Pak Doni and how also confident Pak Dino, yeah, Pak Dino, sorry, Pak Dino, how confident also Pak Go, our former Chinese consular for Denpasar, and also Rose just brought the fact and the reality of Chinese market itself. How do you see, or how our government from national perspective to see and how we can tackle this market with more small group, quality, and stay longer? Times is yours. Pak Sigit Wijaksono, Direktur Deputi Regional 2 dari Kemenparekraf. Times is yours, Pak Sigit.
Thank you once again, Pak Lanto, for the opportunity. Let me say Om Swastiastu to Bapak Wagub, and also to Pak Go Odong and Pak Dino, and other speakers, yeah, which I cannot mention one by one. Thank you very much once again. Yeah, it is very interesting discussion. Actually, we are here, Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy. Now we are merged, yeah. Just recently we are merged, yeah. Before we are Spiritly Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy Agency. Now, with the merging, then we hope that we can do more, yeah, for the promotion. One important term that mentioned by Pak Dino is we do not do not stop your promotion. Yeah, do not never stop your promotion. Yeah, this is only. I would like to share few slides. Yeah, I will not read all because time constraint. I believe that to make or to build the trust, we need to gain confidence. Yeah, this is also the key. Yeah, and how to gain the confidence? We have to show that we are ready. Yeah, that Bali is ready. Yeah, we talk about Bali and we talk about how to attract Chinese tourists returning back or visiting Bali after the pandemic. Yeah, please, Pak. Yeah, this is the content. Next, please. Next. Yeah, so this is the background. Yeah, that we show that we have to show that we are really can gain the confidence because we are really ready. Yeah, because the how we handle the pandemic. This is one of the key. Yeah, one of the important aspect to consider. Yeah, just yesterday we already finished our Indonesia seller meeting with all 14 markets, and we share also with the industry. And I believe some of you here also joining the session. Yeah, and this is next slide, please. Next. So the key is the implementation of the protocol, clean, health, safety, and environment. This is to show that we are ready, not only in the destination itself, but also for the accommodation and other infrastructure, that we are really ready for welcoming the tourists, including the Chinese tourists. Next, Pak. Just skip some. Next, Pak. Yeah, just recently the president and also the minister visiting also Bali to make sure that really the destination is ready, implementing the protocol. And the ministry already launched Indonesia Care. This is if we read I do care. Yeah, but in total Indonesia Care that can be already we place already in our website. Yeah, Indonesia.travel. You can it can be downloaded. Next, there will be video and other tutorial things that very important. Next. This is the again with what we have done and what we are preparing. That is more important, I think. Next, Pak. Hello, next, Pak. Yeah. I think I skipped the Chinese tourist data, yeah. But I believe that you all know about the Chinese tourist data. This is what we have prepared, yeah. Since we are under the pandemic, what we are doing is more for online, yeah. Our Marcom team, our marketing communication team, do campaign and also communication strategy by virtual, by online. Used to be in our own media. Now we are also doing with paid media. We are working together with Google and other social media that mentioned also by Pak Dino previously. So from our side, we are doing, because we are in regional, we are doing promotion. Since we are not able to do offline activities, we doing virtual things. Next, Pak. Yeah, this is what we launched that I mentioned. Yeah, we are cooperating with several media, paid media, social media, and also we place in our own media Indonesia.travel. Indonesia Care, I do care. This is part of so how ready we are to welcome. Yeah, not only all tourists, of course, including Chinese tourists. Next. Next, Pak. Now, this is what we have been doing. Yeah, this is to show that during our webinar, first webinar, we see that the polling result that most of the participants, they are choosing. This is about the webinar for China and Hong Kong. 70% choosing Bali as the most destination to visit. This is very good news for Bali, and I believe Bali is will be #1 for tourists, including for Chinese tourists. Next, Pak. I'm sorry, it seems the connection is not so good. Yeah. So this is the important thing that just mentioned before the opening of the border. Yeah, the travel corridor that mentioned by Pak Dino. This is one of the important aspect that we consider when we can receive the Chinese tourists, yeah, to come to Indonesia, including to Bali destination. And of course, the implementation of the protocol, yeah, clean health, safety, and environment. This is also the important things, yeah. So when the border is open, that is our task, yeah, our responsibility. Before we come to that discussion, I believe Ministry of Foreign Affairs and other related stakeholder, we have to show that we are really implementing the protocol and we are ready for welcoming the foreign tourists, including China. Yeah. So this is I think I would like to conclude. Next, Pra. So we are still moving on. Yeah, we are going forward. Yeah, that this is the plan that we do. Yeah, because we are now during this situation. The objective of this is actually to reconnect the market. Yeah, to reconnect with the buyers, and also we try to connect between the buyer and also the seller. That is why we did webinar and we did also seller meeting. And later on we try to do B2B or B2C virtual as well. And of course, when the time is come, the border is open, we are ready, the readiness of our destination. That is the time that we can really show that Bali really ready. It is, I think I would like to conclude the presentation. Thank you very much, Pak. Om Santi, Santi, Santi. Om. Sorry, the connection is not so good.
It's okay, Pak Sigit. We can hear you. I can hear you very well from Perth, Western Australia here. Saya ada jauh di negara tetangga di bawah Bali, but I can hear you very well. Pak Sigit Wicaksono, Director Regional 2 untuk China, India, dan North Asia. Also in charge acting for Director Regional 3 untuk Eropa. Pak Sigit, thank you so much for your confidence. You also very confident. You say that China will come back.
We have to be confident, like Pak Dino said.
Right, like Pak Dino, and I'm suspicious. Are you bought in under pressure from Pak Johari? That's why you bought.
No. Actually, I'm also a colleague of Pak Dino.
then I have to cross check again. Okay, so you bought under
I've been in this ministry for more than 2 years, but before actually I'm the colleague of Pak Dino and other friends in embassy and also the consulates.
All right, okay. So, all right, I hope that's gonna be. We have a question already for Rose and Pak Dino. There's a question for each of you. Wait, but before I ask the question, to make it fair, Pak Sigit, because you already also confident that China has come back. Oh, really? Okay, let us get cross-check with James Liang. Mr. James Liang Jun, Vice Chairman of Shenzhen Travel Association. Ini kayak asitanya di China. James, are you there, James? Hopefully you're not sleep. You listen. Hi, James. How are you? Unmute first, James. Okay. How are you? You are not sleeping there, right?
No. I'm sitting here all the long time. So yeah, I'm okay.
You enjoy that, right? You heard that both Pak Sigit and Pak Dino, they both are very confident that China market will come back. Okay?
Yes, of course.
So we need rest assurance from your side as a director of Shenzhen Travel Association and especially Southeast Asia Specialized Committee. Are you sure or you want to stress out that this China market will come back to Bali in a different format, in a different way that you believe will be something new that, you know, tourism in Bali have to get ready for that? James Liang.
Yes. Should I start my speech or I just answer the question first?
You can start your speech now because you are
Thank you. Also, I show the PPT with here.
Yeah. You want to present? You have a presentation to present?
Yeah,
right?
I have the presentation. Can you let me pass? Yes, please.
You can present directly from your PC there.
Okay.
Pak Freddy, can you make a co-host to Pak James? Well, you have to convince us, James, that the Sigit Dino believe that China market is ready and very aggressive, and even Dino very confident that it's come back.
Depends on the time.
Okay, all right, okay then. No, I like that.
Okay, I'm ready. So it's my time for my speech. And today for my speech, the contents for my speech is for 5 parts. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my honor to be invited to this webinar. And I hope everybody's, because I think my speech is the last one, so I hope everybody can be still, let me check this. Okay, my contents about this speech is first is the change of Chinese consumers' consumption habits. I think I will share with 5 parts. I think the online booking will be the main channel, one-stop service, and wisdom tourism is a new proposition. Self-media will influence consumers' choice of a travel destination, such as live broadcast, short video, vlog. And the 4th point is the pre-sale products, the low-cost locking for the future travel products. And the last, the customer will more focus on the in-depth experience of the destination. And now the Chinese consumers, they will use the 2 main platforms in China. One is Tencent, one is Alibaba. They will use this new technology to find all the information about their travel destination. And also the travel agency in China, they will use these 2 platforms to build their tailor-made travel shops, because these tailor-made travel shops is easily to help the travel agency to transfer all their products to be sold to the market. And the change of Chinese travel agency in the demand of destination products. I will, the content is about 6 parts. I think the products in the future, they list the value add of tourism products, the experience of tourism products, the depth of the tourism products, the uniqueness of tourism products, the diversity, and we hope we can have more one-stop service from the destination. And I will share some, because I'm not just promote Bali as my only destination in Southeast Asia. So I will share some ideas about the advantage and disadvantage of Bali and other islands in Southeast Asia. And comparing to the other islands in Southeast Asia, the advantage of Bali, the first is, of course, the world famous tourist destination. Second, diversified scenery and rich culture, not only beaches, but also forests, terraces, volcanoes, temples. Rich hotel resources, especially the luxury hotel brand, multiple flights and strong selectivity. But compared with the other islands, the disadvantage of Bali is the language problems, because all based on English speaking, and the tour guide's explanation ability is not enough. And the meal is mainly Indonesian food, not suitable for Chinese people. Insufficient experience in tourist attractions. And the cities in northern China are a little bit far away from Bali. And the flight duration is more than 6 hours. So the airline have to use the wide-body aircraft to fly from the lost city, from China lost city to Bali. And the fourth part is the analysis and forecast of some tourism data. For this part, I think just now Ms. Rose already shared a lot with everybody, so I just skip this part. Everybody can see from my PPT. I think from this part, it's really easy to find. I think the people in China, they wish to have their outbound travel in the last half year. And of course, just as mentioned just now, the government announced that from July 14, that is 2 days ago, the government already opened the cross-provincial tour. Okay, and after the end of the virus, the Chinese tourism market still occupies an important position in the world tourism. Asia, especially the Southeast Asia islands, will become the first choice of tourists, especially Bali, as a unique island culture is still favored by the Chinese people. Tourists will regard the health and safety as the primary focus of travel. And the last part of my speech is the change that Bali operators need to make. Because I followed the webinar from the beginning, lots of the operator in Bali, they mentioned about only the high-end business, they are in welcome. They don't want the low price tourists coming to Bali. So I think for the operators in Bali, I think my suggest is let's be more professional. Let's try to find more private tours to promote to China market, and some personalized, and some I hope in the future, the request from China, the operators can have a prompt response. That means if we lead the high quality service in Bali, so the high-end people from China, they will choose Bali as the destination. But Larry just asking me, do I have confidence about the Chinese people will go to Bali again? Of course, I have confidence. But be honest, from my information, I think these 3 months, I think because National Day, the 1st October, still the high season for China tourists. But I don't think before 1st October, the outbound business can be started from China. So we hope can be started as soon as possible. So we should change our way of thinking and behavior. That's my speech. Thank you. Telepathy.
Thank you so much, James Liang Jun, Vice Chairman of Shenzhen Travel Association. There's a very highlighted, James, thank you so much. You make your point
Thank you. My pleasure.
And then you also bring the advantage and disadvantage that Bali tour operator have to pay extra attention on this. So this is the time that you need to revamp your service quality, your professional, your ability or your creativity to create more personalized product, more personalized services. Yes, the new quality you want, yes, Chinese people, they can, and yes, it is gonna change. So I think it's need both sides. You cannot just expect, or you cannot just say it that, hey, we want high quality, but you not improve yourself. Hey, we want a good quality from China market, those people that can spend more, but you not play professional in your task. So you have to also revamp the way you do your business. You have to be more professional. You have to have a knowledge about Balinese culture, not giving hanky-panky. And I do believe Chinese high-end market, they have the standard, they have their expectation that they would love to have, because I do believe Chinese also very highly highly respect the culture, because they love to learn, they love to listen. And I think we just need to find the right tour operator that can speak Mandarin or speak Chinese fluently, and also not in a rush, because the new quality people, they don't want to rush. They want you to have more explanation and be elegant, because they're also very elegant. They appreciate quality. So I think that's what James said. Okay, I'm half convinced now, James, that yes, we are ready. Now I'm back to Pak Dino. Pak Dino, the question to you. This is the question: when do you think that Chinese market will come back? Well, despite of what James said, not until the 1st of October, but in your perspective, or in your data dari sana, when do you think they're gonna come back?
Well, that's also questions that everyone is asking, and also what we are observing. As I mentioned, we've just here gone past the quarantine period. People are now returning back to work, and they're being productive. They are within the new normal working. We see that first of all, they need to build up the economy first. Yeah, we can't deny that without the revival of the economy, that they're going to go on a vacation. They have to work first. Now we see this, give them the chance first to work again, revive the economy, and then when after they're done working, there's a time for them to cool off. My confidence is giving it into the early quarter, fourth quarter, that should give a very strong numbers. But here's the catch. I mean, once people are starting to go on vacation, let's say I may also agree on the first, starting on the 1st of October, there's going to be a huge demand coming in at the same time in short notice. these short terms, these demands are becoming in. Now, this is where I guess Bali can come in. If you try to go into the quality rather than quantity, then these should be specialized packages starting in the fourth quarter, where you can sort out the packages that can ensure the safety, the health of these tourists, with specialized packages that goes into open air attractions rather than closed arenas, where they can be in one area where there's a lot of places to visit, but less a lot of avoiding the much travel, direct connections. These are all the factors that can attract the large demand, and then where you can choose the high-end market people to Bali. But if I want to be optimistic, I would say that we should be ready, but at least by the start of the fourth quarter.
The first quarter which means starting in October.
Fourth quarter, yeah, the first part of the fourth quarter, which is probably in October, Pak.
Okay, all right, Pak Dino, saya hold sebentar ya Pak Dino ya. Saya pegang 4 Oktober. I'll come to Rose. There's one question for you, Rose. But before Rose, there's one question coming in for Pak Wagub. Pak Wagub, there's one question for you. I think it's related of what just Pak Dino mentioned earlier about the bubble corridor. Pak Wagub, this pertanyaan ini from Anthony Hurai. Anthony asked, is it possible or is it feasible to establish the bubble corridor between Chinese cities, example Guangzhou, Shanghai, and then Bali with a direct flights? And the reason why is because Indonesia may have high number of COVID-19 cases, but Bali is relatively low. Is it possible, Pak? Because by not passing through intermediate city, the risk of contamination along the way is lower. Pak Wagub, apakah possible, Pak? Apakah feasible?
As we plan, very gonna open as an international destination on the 11th of September. But we will see whether it's the good moment or we change our deal. But our government plan to open Bali on the 11th of September. And what we wish is the first Bali, I hope, is from China. Yeah. Whether it's the corridor, yeah, we hope that be an answer to Mr. Gu. We wish first is open our international airport gate is from China. That will be on the 11th of September. So yes, it is possible to in China to province Bali. It can be like that because we know China is very well and there's no China province is not like a pandemic at the moment, so we can choose which province is feasible to come to Bali on the 11th of September. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I think thank you Pak Wagub. Jadi this is doable ya Pak. I mean once the international door is open, this bubble corridor can be done. All right. I leave it that Pak Wagub. Thank you. Now this is one question, and I think this question pretty much I think. Maybe to Pak Dino. Pak Dino, if you can answer this question, Pak Dino. This question is come from Pak Iwayan Subagya. Dari nama pasti orang Bali. But beliau juga adalah salah satu bilangnya pencinta pariwisata Indonesia. Pak Dino, untuk memastikan to make sure that Bali will become the destination, especially for the Chinese market. Do you think, or how do you think that there should be a strong synergy between local government, central government, and embassy, especially in China here, to get a target? Because China market for Bali is the highest, second after Australia. But we do aware that Australia will not open the door until next year, probably. But China, with 1.2 million tourists, is a big market for Bali. Are you still going to stuck with that number, Pak? 1.2 million, or is there any certain percentage that embassy will revise the number, maybe 30%, 40%, 20%, or how are you going to make it happen? How are you going to rest assured that this strategy to get the number, or let's say 30% from 1.2 million, how are you going to make it happen?
Okay. It's a very good question, because if you look into numbers, statistics, and targets that we have to do due to COVID-19, the prudent way to do so is let's do away with the numbers. Last year we've achieved 2 million from China. Now we're already in the middle of the year. We have to be realistic. We're not going to achieve those numbers. What we do have to do now is prepare better when COVID is past us, when it's now safe to travel again, people. We can provide good services and good health issues for these foreign tourists to actually come in. So again, I know that we have targets at the embassy, but to tell you the truth, we're not looking at targets anymore. We're looking into how we can better prepare ourselves within this COVID so that we can start again for these foreign tourists to come in with a very safe environment, but also putting in the concept of Bali as a tourist destination for them to come back. I'm not sure that we will actually fulfill the same numbers, whether it's 50% or 30%. The main task right now is how to realign the concept of people who actually wants to travel. So the focus right now is what kind of tourist packages that can be made up, and then the second would be outside of tourists, what can be done, say as I mentioned before, with working from Bali. And third is how could the central government with the governments in provincial governments of Bali could establish a good connection, which is a direct flight, which is a very secure travel arrangements between cities, so that when people move from one area to the other, it will not be affected, or it will not be seen as a way for the virus to spread within those two parts. Now, again, going back, let me say that the environment in Bali compared to other Indonesias is somewhat above average. It's better suited to attract tourists. Let's make this into a reality on how the tourists can come back again, and then we'll look into the numbers later on. For the numbers, I trust my colleagues from the Ministry of Tourism to look into them. But for us at the embassy, what we want is just how to start again with something that has stopped due to the virus.
All right, okay, Pak Dino. I think that basically I will go to Pak Sigit to ask with the number. But hold second, yeah, Pak Sigit,
Okay.
find the right number. Now, there's a question for Rose. Rose, there are two questions for you. First, can you explain, or can you brief, explain to us what will be the 3 big cities from China that would love to come to Bali, or at least see Bali as the potential for the next destination for next tourists? And number two, beside, you maybe heard that we already discussed about working from Bali concept. Is there any other segment that you can see for Bali? So I mean, other segment means that wedding market still be a good for Bali, or is there besides working from Bali, which is FIT individual? You also mentioned about family. What type of family?
Okay, for the first question, thank you for the question. And for the first question, I think if we can re-establish the image of Bali as the high-quality island, that the first level city in China will be still the first choices. There will be Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and some potential cities come from the northern part of China, because it's totally different cultural, different scenic spots, and totally different. They cannot experience what they in the hometown, so they have the strong demand to experience. And if we can successfully re-establish the new image of Bali as the high quality destination for that kind of people, so I think the first level city in China still be the first choices. Beijing, Guangzhou, Shanghai, that kind of the people in these cities have the strong travel spending ability. So that is for the first question. And the second question, it's also a good question about working from Bali. That's actually I have some friends. They have that kind of experience. We call it a gap year there. But actually, when they finish their gap year in Bali, they love in that place, because after recovery of this disaster, and people have the new style of working, that is working from home. That is mean that you can working everywhere in the world, but online. So I think Bali is best, or we can say a good choice for the people to choose to working from Bali. Yeah. Sorry, I can't hear you. Sorry, Levi, we can hear you. We cannot hear you.
Right. You're going to become the superstar tonight, because there's a couple questions coming, keep popping up for you. But I'll come back to you. I'll go to Pak Sigit first, and I go to Pak Go, and then come back to you. Yeah, bros? Hold a second. Pak Sigit, go straight, Pak Sigit. From 1.2 million, what is the target for Bali? 1.2 million was last year, Bali tourists from China. Kalau dari Kemenparekraf, what's the number?
Yes. Okay, Pak Levi, thank you for the question about the number. Yeah, this is very important things. Yeah. Actually, if we see from the data, yeah, just recently published by our Central Bureau Statistics early July for the May data, we see that the decline of the tourists coming to Indonesia nationally is more than 80%. So you can imagine, yeah, that is a very huge decline, decreasing of the tourists coming to Indonesia because of this situation. And of course, here in the ministry, we have been in discussion also, because we put already in our national, how can I say, national planning, and we are in consultation with the National Planning Agency and as well as the Ministry of Finance, because we are putting in our target in our national plan, our target. So we have to see the fact, as already mentioned again by Pak Dino, that we have to see the fact that we cannot achieve the target, the number. But we projected that the decline for this year is around 70 to 80% nationally. We talk about nationally. Of course, this also will give impact to Bali because Bali is the most destination. For your information, I think here we have Pak Wagub. We see from long time that Bali is the most destination, the main gate, number one, contribute 40% national tourists. And then followed by Jakarta, surrounding 30%, and then Batam Bintan 20%. Altogether, we see that these three, and Bali is still the main gate. So if we talk about the number total national, then if there is a decline nationally, then Bali also will have an impact as well. This is about the number. If the key is, I think, is when is the opening of the border, or when is the destination ready, when the market also now in the position to send the tourists. This is talking about the travel possibility of travel bubble or travel corridor. So one of the most, yesterday we discussed during our seller meeting, we discussed at least two aspects. The first aspect is health and security aspect. This is to give the tourists very safe, feeling safe is very important one. And then the economic aspect, this at least these two aspects can be considered. And then I believe that Ministry of Foreign Affairs and related ministry will take into consideration of those when to start discussion about the possibility of travel bubble. And this is the from our side, Pak Levy. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Pak Sigit. I think you and Pak Dino have agreed that not answer my question. I'm asking about the number, Pak. How many? One from 1.2 million. How many people you want to bring to us?
We can project the decline will be around 70 to 80%.
So that means only 30% you can bring. Okay, that's very. All right. So 30% from 1.2 million. Silakan teman-teman hitung sendiri di rumah. And jadi itu target. And then we will see the support from Pak Sigit and Pak Dino from Beijing to support us to achieve 30% from 1.2 million. Right, 1.2 million, 30% come back to Bali. Hopefully this year until next year. Pak Gao, nah, Pak Gao, you already raised a hand. This is a question for you, Pak Gao. Let me check. Your fans, they not give a question. They just give, oh, Pak Gao, they miss you a lot. But they don't give a question. All right, there's a one question.
I just want to cut in for just add one thing. Just now, Ruth was asked which three cities, which cities could be have the potentially largest number of tourists. I want to add one more city. Add one more city, Wuhan.
Wuhan.
We need to design a special package, for Wuhan because Wuhan people have a very special, friendly sentiments to Bali. The last group of Chinese tourists evacuated by the Chinese government with chartered flight were from Wuhan. But actually, I went to the airport. If we can make use of this story to design a package for Wuhan, we can attract a lot of Wuhan people because. Don't forget, Wuhan has a population of 10 million. Yeah. Okay, that's what I want to say.
Okay, so you recommend Wuhan because Rose mentioned.
Yeah. Add Wuhan to the list. Yeah.
Now you add Wuhan. Wuhan Chayo.
Wuhan Chayo. Yes.
I remember. That's the tagline. Right.
Pak Levi, let me just also support Pak Gao. When the question about the three cities, I also talked with my colleagues here. I also was thinking about Wuhan because first, again, the arguments of Pak Gao was very precise. about the last tourist that came that left Bali was from Wuhan, but also it could show solidarity of Bali. Remember that Wuhan was they were sacrificing themselves to be quarantined and to be locked down for the sake of the other cities. Yeah. So if Bali can say that, look, we want to invite people from Wuhan who's now very very healthy. Please come to Bali. We have these special packages, which of course provides very high-end offers. I'm sure that it will not become not just some sort of solidarity from Bali for people from Wuhan, but also it can also attract the quality travelers from Wuhan to actually visit Bali because of all the stress of being locked down. So that's actually a very good idea, Pago. Very good. I think that's also very
so I think Padino, you just give a task project to Pago, I think.
I owe you lunch, Pago. Let's meet up sometime.
Yeah, we're going to meet very soon.
And also with Rose, perhaps we're all in Beijing. I'm sorry that we haven't met.
Yeah, sure.
No, because Padino, because you give the project to him, now I press another question to Pago. Actually, I have one question to you. Now it's become two questions. Now, since you Wuhan Chayo into this campaign, so the first question, can you persuade Chinese government to open or to give the permit for Garuda or vice versa for any Chinese airline to come or do charter to Bali? Because there's a regulation that's a bit difficult about it. Garuda willing to come, but there is a some restriction the Chinese government already put in place. There's been an issue when Garuda start to approach. So the question is, will you be able to help to smoothen that process? Now, since you also propose Wuhan, then that means it's also gonna go to Wuhan. All right, Rose mentioned about the three cities, Shanghai, Beijing, and Guangzhou. Then if Wuhan's gonna be, then Garuda may be considered to open Beijing, Wuhan, and then Bali, or Guangzhou, Shanghai, or Beijing, and then Bali. So it's a charter flight. So how are you gonna help us, Mr. Go? That's a question. Or what would you advise? So then, because when it's talking about the charter, Mr. Go, then a few tour operator in Bali have to get ready as well. Like, you know, what James recommend, what Rose recommended, how they have to get ready, prepare for the high-end market to be professional, more personalized product. Then they have to get ready, even though it is charter flight. Also, from the charter flight perspective, because of the restriction of Chinese government, how would you like to address that issue, Pago?
There used to be a chartered flight from Wuhan to Bali. Of course, and I will lobby the authorities concerned with my limited capacity, but I will do my best. You know, as a situation, when China will reopen the outbound tourism, mainly, I must say, it depends on the global situation of the COVID-19. Yeah. So I will, as you suggested, I will do my best to lobby. I will strongly recommend the corridor or the chartered flights between Bali and then Wuhan. Yeah. Thank you.
Right. So not only Bali, Wuhan, Pago, also from Guangzhou.
Of course, beyond.
Yeah. So there are two roads. There are two roads that Garuda would like to propose, but yeah, if you can help, you know, to negotiate the restriction, because I think it has to be 2-2 or 1-1. Like if Garuda have one, then there should be Chinese airline 1. So it has to be equal or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but that would be a big help if you can help to lobby for us, especially from Garuda's side. Right. Thank you, Pago. I'll come back to you with the question for you. Now, this is one question. I think this is more to probably to Pak Gus Agung. Pak Gus Agung, apa saja persyaratan atau ketentuan yang harus dipenuhi oleh Indonesia atau Bali supaya pada saat China market enter atau open untuk penduduknya traveling, kita bisa jadikan mereka sebagai destinasi traveling bagi penduduknya. Oke, ini dari Pak Asman Millennium Indowisata. Apakah harus angka COVID-19 yang rendah untuk menjadi persyaratan bagi mereka? Pak Gus Agung.
Ya, terima kasih Pak Levi, selamat sore Pak Asman. Terima kasih pertanyaannya. Jadi kita dalam menentukan pembukaan dan menerima wisatawan itu kan berdasarkan data ya. Kita tahu semua kita tuh ada kurva-kurva yang harus kita taati. Seperti misalnya secara ini saya Pak Trisno tahu, Pak Wagub tahu betul lah. Jadi kita selalu pantengin itu, kita lihat kurva-kurva itu. Jadi istilahnya di situ ada RO-nya Bali itu seperti apa. Kalau dia masih di atas 1, itu belum green tempat itu. Jadi belum bisa dibuka untuk pariwisata. Dan kalau dia di bawah 1, sudah dianggap aman. Itu secara rumus, secara WHO itu seperti itu. Jadi kita nggak dalam Bapak Gubernur, Pak Wagub dalam membuka destinasi itu tidak serta-merta ya. Membuka di situ ada ininya, apa namanya, teorinya lah. Ada kurva-kurva yang harus diikuti. Percayalah, saya sendiri pantengin juga, Pak Wagub sendiri juga pantengin. Jadi memang kita ini masih di atas, apa namanya, we still over the standard gitu. So we hope the end of this July, actually the kurva, from the prediction, the kurva will be under of 1. So I will let you know, for the industry, I will let you know. Pak Wagub also will share the information. So this time we still above for 1. So we still keep our destination actually close from the border. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Pak Gus Agung. Pak Asman, semoga that answer your question. And you also asking about when China market can allow their people to traveling to Bali. It's been answered by James Liang. That's going to be first week or earlier of October. Now, James, there's one question for you, James. Pak Nyoman Astama. Pak Nyoman sangat aktif sekali bertanya, James. Right. So you recommend the China market will be starting traveling to Bali by the first of October or after the National Day. Is that prudent or is still in a gray area?
Because I think now nobody can say when we'll be ready. But because now the cross-provincial tours been start already, and then because after the Golden Week in October, I think because for the outbound business start, I'm sure Bali will be the first tier consideration for the government to consider as a destination for the Chinese people going out.
Okay.
So yeah.
So you saying that still it's not like solid, but it's most probably, it's most probably. All right. Maybe Rose, can you answer the question too? Do you reckon? I mean, like Nyoman Astama asking, is the 1st of October or after that National Day? Is that already prudent? Is that fixed or it can be changed?
Actually, according to the situation domestic here in China, it just only opened the cross-provincial group tour 3 days ago, right? So I think it will gradually change, and also the government will depend on the situation here and abroad. So even I discuss with the industry people here and get information according to all the information I get from here. I think maybe we'll have that, and even the end of the year or next year.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. You know, this is such a very interactive, and we have some questions. I think still us, coming up, but it's already answered in your in our discussion basically. So without we realize, we all come to 2.5 hours of our discussion. Time flies very quickly, and I really appreciate. And we still have our audience here that eager to listen and to know more. But before we'll complete this discussion, I would like to make concluding remark what has been discussed around the table. Tadi start from Pak Go. Of course, this is not the end, because we're going to continue discuss on China market on FGD, focus discussion group, in a smaller and focus group. But I would like to make some concluding remark here. Pak Go make a very strong point that we have to focus on high-end market. We focus on quality and do a promotion with a proper slogan that target Chinese market, especially during the high end, during the high traveler period, especially July, August. And then also Padino's also brought up that let's create the bubble corridor for China market, as China still have a potential of spending, and then they still have possibility to be number one, even though they are number 6 in terms of Chinese travel. In mind, they think number 6, but you believe that Bali will be number 1. And Rose Wu, GM from Bali Tourism Board China, brought up that 60% Chinese people still would love to traveling. They still want to go traveling overseas, and they will spend 6 to 8 days. And health and safety will be the first issue, and FIT 34%, and again, small, quality, and longer stay. And Gen Z is the new target market that anyone in Bali that consider China market, remember Gen Z will be the next segment that you have to pay attention and learn what is Gen Z. We're gonna run out of time here. You can learn what is Gen Z, what is Gen Z like and they don't like. Then you can specify in China market. And 80% again willing to traveling, and live streaming is the important tool to market your property, to market your product. So I think video will talk more than just wording. So check extra, pay extra attention to create your own live streaming with a video or any kind of picture talk more than just a word. So that's, and also James Liang's also give advantage and disadvantage of Bali as an islands destination. And Bali famous, have a very rich culture, rich hotel resources, but this disadvantage is the tour guide, they not speak Chinese well. Majority speak English and combine and mix it. So language is still the issue, and a product knowledge about Bali have to be increased. Yeah, and then even though it's 6 hours, I think still challenge, but it's still doable. And then again, James also stated 82.6% willing to travel to Southeast Asia, and especially Bali islands destination will be the most wanted. And of course, must change in terms of professionalism in handling the people, handling Chinese people, especially high-end. There will be, of course, high-end people will have a high demand in terms of the quality and the product. And of course, personalized tour package need to be. And in the next 3 months, we still have more time to prepare. And hopefully by first week of October or first October during the National Day still high season, and hopefully Bali will be ready for it. And of course, this all depend on when Bali gate is open, which is Pak Wagub will confirm that whether international market is ready and the Chinese will become our market. And of course, Pak Sigit and Pak Dino, I think they both agree that 30% of 1.2 million will become the target for Chinese market this year until next year. So I think that's the concluding remark. Again, this is not going to be end, but anybody that or our audiences that join us today, please feel free to register your name, your company name, and your contact in the email btbgpbali@gmail.com. Register your name there, because after this public big group webinar will be end, but we're gonna enter the FGD, which is more focused and already posted in the chat there. There are 8 different topics that you can pick up, maximum 3 choices. So then when the schedule comes, we're gonna email you the full schedule so you can participate, and we're gonna send you invitation to join our discussion. Pretty much our next discussion will be more into the solution, into more the issue, critics, or even strategy that we're gonna build together and get Bali ready for the next normal in welcome Chinese market, Paris market, Berlin market, any other market that will come along our way. And before we conclude this discussion, I would like to start with each of a panel with your word of encouragement to all of the industry and people in Bali, a business owner, hotelier, the operation team, the association in Bali. I would like to start probably from Pak Trisno Nugroho to give your statement of encouragement. Pak Trisno Nugroho.
Oke, Pak Levi, terima kasih, bagus sekali hari ini. Mungkin saya pantun aja Pak Levi ya, pantun aja ya, pantun ini.
Saya kira
enggak, biar Bali bangkit itu sebuah keniscayaan buat saya ya. Jadi kita secepat-cepatnya Bali bangkit. Saya kira para pimpinan di Jakarta sudah menyadari bahwa Bali sebagai salah satu kontributor pariwisata terbesar di bidang pariwisata, para pimpinan di Jakarta akan fokus ke Bali. Saya akhiri dengan pantun Pak. Semilir angin di Pantai Kuta, ini biar pada jealous di Pantai Kuta. Angin berhembus sejuk sekali, biarpun banyak tempat wisata, Wisman Tiongkok tetap ke Bali gitu kan. Nah, itu kan, itu pertama. Yang kedua, kapal nelayan sedang berburu, tak gentar meski lautnya pasang. Kini Bali sudah era baru, Wisman Tiongkok selamat datang. Udah gitu dua. Terima kasih Pak Levi ya.
Trisno, thank you. Buat ini baru bikin atau memang sudah disiapkan sih Pak Tris?
Rahasia Pak.
Terima kasih Pak Trisno Nugroho, Kepala Perwakilan Bank Indonesia based in Bali. Now I would like to give this second chance for James Liang, Vice Chairman of Shenzhen Travel Association. James, what would you like to give the statement of encouragement to tourism industry in Bali? Please unmute, James.
For my opinion, I still thinking Bali has enough attraction for the Chinese tourist, and I think it's a good chance for the market to change, because before I think the operator in Bali, they were more focusing for the volume, the quantity, but not the quality. But in the future, I think the China tour groups, there will be a change. That means even 20 pax groups, they will be divided in 3 small groups. That means 20 guests, when they arrive Bali, they will be divided in 3 groups. I think maybe 6 of them will stay in Four Seasons, 6 of them will stay in another 4-star up hotel, and another 10, they will stay in a normal 5-star hotel. So, and then maybe they will arrive the same day, leave Bali in the same day, but when they are staying in Bali, they will choose the different itineraries. So I think this kind of packages will be more popular in the future. So I hope the Bali Tourism Board, when you are planning your promotion in China, have to consider how to promote more family tour, mini tour for the market, because this kind of mini tour will cost more, but the tourists, when they go into Bali, if they follow this kind of group, they can have more flexible time, so they can have longer time to enjoy the breakfast in the resort, enjoy the sunshine in the beach, like that. So I think maybe in the future, don't just mention about some big picture. I just promote more details about Bali. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, James Liang, Vice Chairman of Shenzhen Travel Association. So thank you so much, James, for your word of encouragement. We'll see you in Bali again, and more quality tourists from China. And I would like to give this chance for Pak Sigit Wicaksono, your word of encouragement, Pak Sigit, to all of the industry in Bali.
Okay, thank you, Pak Levi, once again. Bali is the most destination. Bali is like icon of Indonesia tourism. So if Bali revive, the nationally tourism will also revive, will follow it. And we support Bali to revive. So before that, you need to show that Bali is ready to welcome the tourists, including China tourists. Om Santi, Santi, Santi.
Thank you, Pak Sigit Wicaksono, Director Regional 2, China, India, and North Asian, Acting Director for Regional 3. Thank you. Now from Rose Wu. Oh, this is Rose. Everybody want to hear your statement of encouragement to industry in Bali.
Thank you. Thank you. When I'm talking about opportunity, I get this opportunity. So I will use this opportunity to finish my presentation.
Oh, don't worry, Rose. We're gonna come into the FGD, so you can continue. They will follow you in the next group discussion.
But I want to share is that when we're talking about the opportunity, I want to share that what BTB China can help in the near future.
Yeah. Okay, 2 minutes. Is that okay?
It's okay. First, first, I think we can help the qualified enterprises and get the qualification in China, because we all know that Thailand Tourism Bureau has officially released a new health standard for Thailand's tourism enterprises in China. Only those enterprises that meet the standards can obey certification and record them in volume. So I think for Bali tourism industry, we can thinking about that, the certification constant with China standard. And the next one, I think we are going to provide each BTB member with at least one promotion opportunity on our official accounts. And also, we will have the joint recovery plan. We will carry out a one-to-one destination recovery plan with C-Trip, Flicky, and Caesar Tourism, also other tourism companies and organizations. And the most exciting is that we will launch live streaming campaign with different themes in the next months. And the first step, we will recruit Chinese who stay in Bali as experienced officers to attract more Chinese to make their own Bali wish list in advance, and then to decide Bali as the first destination after epidemic. Once the outboard tour is restarted, we will recruit domestic KOL and influence people as the experienced officers. And I want to share also our recruitment demo just finished. I want to share with you guys.
你是否有过这样的幻想？远离现代城市的喧嚣，来到一个遥远的神秘国度。放眼望去，是自然的五彩斑斓。在这片土地，你可以自由多变，化身为鸟儿，乘着热气球俯瞰万物；化身为鱼儿，踏着珊瑚海草，畅游海底世界；化身为美食家，品尝地道原始的风味。这是一座充满诗情画意、人杰地灵的岛屿，我们在这里等你。
What do you think? Exciting? We will broadcast it on various domestic platforms soon. And following that, we will have online series courses. Yeah. We'll launch different courses.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's great, Rose. I think this is part of the follow-up that we're gonna do together with the Bali Tourism Board Association. So that's why we're going to talk more specifically about this. So your statement, Rose, to the whole association, especially in Bali Tourism Board.
Yes, I think the epidemic will come to an end. We will have a long way to go. I hope I can meet you all brothers and sisters in Bali as soon as possible. And I believe that the day of Chinese travel to Bali again will come soon. And I hope you all stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Rose Wu, General Manager of Bali Tourism Board, China. Thank you so much, Rose. We're going to talk more with more group in the, hang on, where's my face? In the next FGD group that we're going to rolling out as soon as possible. Thank you. Now, Pak Dino. Pak Dino, your statement of encouragement, Pak Dino, all of the Bali tourism.
My last statements perhaps is that there's no doubt that Bali is still in the hearts and minds because of its spiritual attractiveness, the beaches, the persawahan, gunung. Tapi yang paling penting di sini adalah wisatawan the new normal adalah yang memperhatikan pada kesehatan dan sama lingkungan hidup. Nah, untuk kesehatan mungkin saran kami yang paling mendasar adalah bagaimana bisa menciptakan tingkat kesehatan yang sesuai dengan standar. Tadi Rose bilang standar Cina, tapi juga kalau bisa standar WHO. Jadi mungkin bagi para operator maupun pelaku di Bali bisa menginstil standar kesehatan yang sangat tinggi, itu bisa menjadi nilai jual tambah bagi para wisatawan untuk datang dan yang memperhatikan lingkungan. Dan standar ini mungkin bukan hanya pada corporate ya, tapi juga kepada individual orang perorangan yang bisa menjalankan standar kesehatan yang tinggi. Mungkin itu saja dulu untuk dari saya, Pak Levi. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih, Pak Dino Kusnadi, Deputy Chief Mission of KBRI based in Beijing. Thank you, Pak Dino. Now, Pak Go, your statement of encouragement for your beloved friends here back in Bali.
Okay. Yeah. Let's say after the bushfire, we will see a more greener or better growing of the trees and grasses. Yeah, we do have a very promising prospect of Bali. So Bali will not only a best destination for Chinese tourists, and also it will serve as a very good platform for kind of people-to-people exchange, people-to-people relations. So Bali will help to strengthen the friendship between our two peoples and the cooperation between our two countries. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Go Haodong, former Chinese Consul General in Denpasar. Thank you so much, Pak Go. Well, you already have a job, right, Pak Go, to be ambassador.
Thank you.
And the project is already given by Pak Dino, Wuhan. So I think Pak Dino, you need to buy dinner to Pak Go before he changes. All right. Before we go to Pak Wagub and Pak Gus Agung with their statement of encouragement, everybody you already hear, teman-teman tadi sudah pada dengar tadi Rose sudah ada 3 poin bahwa akan ada campaign bersama-sama dengan Bali Tourism Board China dan ada certification yang akan diberikan untuk operator di Bali, dan juga nanti ada aplikasi yang akan dibangun untuk bekerja sama di dalam program-program mempromosikan Bali untuk target high-end quality target market, especially in China. Ini akan semua nanti akan kita diskusikan bersama-sama di FGD. Oke, saya ingatin lagi, segera daftar di btbgpbali@gmail.com untuk nanti kita akan kirim schedule daripada FGD dengan topik-topik, ada 9 topik nanti yang akan kita berikan kepada teman-teman untuk fokus group discussion. Dan sekarang I think I saved the best for the last for Pak Wagub, but before Pak Wagub mungkin Pak Gus Agung a statement of encouragement for everybody that listen to this webinar, our last big webinar group. Your statement of encouragement before I go to Pak Wagub. Gus Agung, Chairman of Bali Tourism Board.
Should be a time destination in the country, including Bali, to start practicing sustainable tourism and aiming for the quality. That's our aim. Thank you, Pak Levi.
Terima kasih, Pak Gus Agung, Chairman Bali Tourism Board. Now, Pak Wagub, Bapak Cho Aceh, your statement of encouragement to all of us here, Pak.
Bali government and also our people, our private sector, make Bali free from pandemic COVID-19, and they open Bali as a best world-class destination. Therefore, we need your support to make this become true very soon. Thank you very much, Pak Levi.
Terima kasih Pak Wagub, Pak Cho Aceh, langsung directly from Bali, Vice Governor Office in Denpasar. Ladies and gentlemen, without we realize, we nearly 3 hours we're talking in this group, and really appreciate. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you, Pak Go. Thank you, James Liang. Thank you, Rose Wu. Thank you, Pak Dino Kusnadi. Thank you, Pak Sigit Wicaksono. Thank you, Pak Trisno Nugroho. Before we'll finish, I would like to express thank you, Santi. And we do apology if there's some things wrong or some mistake that we made. Kami mohon maaf kalau ada yang kurang, kalau ada yang salah. Dari webinar seri 1 sampai seri 8, mohon maaf jika ada yang kurang berkenan. Semoga harapan kami juga dengan adanya inisiatif webinar dari Bali Tourism Board, Kiwi Bali, Bali Convention and Exhibition Bureau, BPBD Leisure Bali, semoga webinar seri 1 sampai 8 ini memberikan manfaat dan berguna untuk persiapan pengembangan bisnis menuju next normal di Bali. Untuk teman-teman industri pariwisata yang ada di Bali, Bali Tourism Board, BPPD Bali, Bali SEP, dan Bank Indonesia melalui Pak Trisno berupaya, berusaha sehingga kami bisa mendapatkan solusi-solusi yang terbaik untuk membantu teman-teman industri memasuki the next normal, tantangan dan harapan. Semoga teman-teman sukses mereset your business model in the next normal so then we all can catch the new wave in the opportunity of our tourism business in Bali. And also buat teman-teman yang ada di sekitar Bali itu sendiri. Semoga kita bisa ketemu lagi di FGD yang akan datang, di grup-grup discussion yang lebih kecil, lebih fokus. Saya ingatkan teman-teman silakan daftar segera sehingga kami bisa melihat berapa jumlah teman-teman yang ingin berpartisipasi di FGD sehingga kami bisa sesuaikan dengan pembicara dan kualitas serta quality yang bagus sehingga bisa membantu teman-teman nanti ke depan dan juga mensosialisasikan solusi-solusi serta implementasi yang sudah kami bahas dari webinar seri 1 sampai seri 8. Akhir kata, saya mengucapkan Levi Lantu dari Perth, mengucapkan terima kasih, stay healthy, take care until we meet again in the next discussion or see you in Bali. Take care.